This is from Gage. Gage says, "Hi, Blake. I just listened to your podcast, Will Intuit Go Red, in the 2024 election. I, too, am a musician and was almost done with my music education degree when I switched to accounting. I also think I have ADHD or ADD, but I've never been tested. I just left public accounting after 3 years, and my biggest issue with it was filling out my time at the end of the day." That was my issue too, Gage. "I'm now in corporate, and I love it. The company I work for has super messy accounting. No one knows what to do, and I get to be creative, hone processes, fix things, make it my own. And the best part about this job is I'm not tracking my hours. I love it. I'm emailing to ask about how you became a CPA with the struggles you have. The reason I'm not a CPA is dumb, but it's because I struggled with watching lecture videos, and I had a hard time understanding how to sign up for the test itself and figuring out when I needed to start studying. I used Wiley. Do you have suggestions as far as study material? And what did you do to pass the CPA exam? I know you're super smart, but I also know that passing the exam is not all about brain power. Any advice would be helpful, or maybe you could talk about it on a future episode. I would appreciate any feedback. Thank you, Gage." And he says, "P.S. What is your favorite instrument to play? Mine is guitar and uke." Well, I'll answer that question first because that's easy. I'm a cellist, and I am also a kind of mediocre pianist, and I've been practicing my piano recently. I want to get good enough where I could like read from chord books, like popular songs, that sort of thing, just vamp. But to answer the question about how to become a CPA when you have ADHD, as I do, my system for learning anything has always, or just accomplishing anything, has always been extremely detailed planning and short bursts of activity. So with the CPA exam, it was all about taking these giant exam study methods and doing it in chunks and setting out a time every day where I was uninterrupted, whether that was 1 or 2 hours a day. And then I wouldn't just study for that whole time. I would break it up into like 20-minute study periods with small breaks, like 5-minute breaks. The Pomodoro Technique is what I used. And I used a timer. And that way, when my brain was trying to escape what I was doing, it would pull me back. I'd say, nope, you got to focus. It's only 20 minutes. You can do it. And it took me a while to even build up the ability to focus for that long. And now I can do it for much longer. But it was a real struggle. And I really believe in the Pomodoro Technique. Use the timer for 20 minutes, take a 5-minute break, 10-minute break after you study, and then do another 20 minutes. And you try to do like 3 of those, 4, 5, 6 maybe, right, in a day.
Is there anything, since he's a musician and you're a musician, anything from your musical career background and preparing for musical performances or anything like that that helped you prepare, that you could relate to the exam prep?
Yeah, I mean, it's basically the same. I used the same method to practice the cello for 3, 4, 5, 6 hours a day as to study for the CPA exam, which was chunk it up. And I would take all the, like if I was working on 3 different things, 3 or 4 different pieces of music, maybe I'm working on an etude, maybe I'm working on scales, maybe I'm working on a concerto and a sonata, all those things at once. Those are 4 things. And then I would say, okay, I'm going to do 20 minutes on the concerto, 20 minutes on the scales, 20 minutes on the sonata. And I would pick a specific spot in the piece to focus on. So I'm not just running through the whole thing. And it really works the same way with CPA exam prep. You can't just tackle the whole exam or a whole section. You have to pick a particular part. So you got to just break it down into chunks, little pieces that you can digest. And in terms of study material, I used one that is not particularly well known, but I really liked it for my needs, which was Gleim. Gleim is almost entirely self-study based. It's short videos. They have audio versions, and they have it in book form. So whatever works for you, you can study from. And I actually prefer to read material because I can go at my own pace. And so what I would do is read through a section and do the practice problems. And then if I had trouble still, I'd watch the video, and I could watch the video like 2x so that I wouldn't get, bored by it. And that worked for me. I really recommend Gleim for people who like to self-study, at their own pace from written materials. Boring Accountant says, do you recommend a metronome? Speed for studying. I think that would drive me insane. But actually, the metronome is the number one way to improve at playing an instrument. If you want to learn any instrument, you need to be playing with that metronome at half tempo almost all the time. And the trick is you don't go full speed until you can play it at half speed. There's your music lesson. Liz in the live stream says, I had the same issues and Roger's CPA really helped me because the videos were short and focused. Yes, I like really short and focused. 5-10 minute kind of videos. That's great. Just communicate one concept.